Hey everybody, it's Ron Johnson, and this is the Ron Johnson Show on Locked On Sports Minnesota. Excited about today's show. We get to talk Super Bowl, but also Roy Williams is going to join us in the Hanging Ron Johnson segment. He's going to drop some gems on this Vikings defense. And then Mike Zimmer, is he ready to be back in the NFL? We'll see what Roy thinks about that coming up next.
Locked On Sports Minnesota podcasts. It's endless Minnesota Vikings talk with the diverse voices of your local experts. Now the Ron Johnson Show. On the field, in the broadcast booth, Ron Johnson is Minnesota sports. He's played with them, hung out with them, and grown up with all the big names in Minnesota sports. They're hanging out with Ron Johnson. It's the Ron Johnson Show on the Locked On Sports Minnesota podcast. And it starts now.
Hey, good people. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning. Birds are chirping, worms are being eaten, and it's a great day in Minnesota. I don't know where you're listening from, but thank you guys for joining me today on the Ron Johnson Show on Locked On Sports Minnesota. I'm excited because it's Super Bowl week. Like, this week to me is always fun. It brings memories back of me and my dad because this is something we always shared and talked about. Of course, his Pittsburgh Steelers days, as you can see the helmet back there behind me, signed by all the, I don't know if that's the 78 or the 79 team. But you got Mean Joe Green, Franco Harris, Tony Dungy. You just name the star, the celebrity from the Steelers Steel Curtain defense, Hall of Famer after Hall of Famer. They're on there. Donnie Shell. I can go on and on and on. And so, of course, this is the week I usually either have my Super Bowl rings with me or I keep one with me, just kind of, like a memory, or like taking my dad with me when I go. So I'm excited. But I got a guy joining me today, Roy Williams. Reminds me of my dad, the way he played football. So we're going to get to him in a little bit in the Hang Around Johnson segment. But I want everybody to know today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. I did it. It's easy. Your tickets are right there in your phone, safe and secure. You don't have to worry about scammers because, sorry, Detroit Lions fans, I heard about the playoffs ticket scam that happened. So sorry, but you should have went on Gametime. If you went on Gametime, you wouldn't have dealt with Detroit scammers. And I'm guessing it wasn't Detroit fans, because I don't think that would have happened. It sounds like it was a traveling scalper and a traveling fan that got defrauded, and the tickets weren't real. So that's why you download the Gametime app. It's safe, it's secure, and it's legal. It's real. You'll have your tickets right there when you go. So $20 on your first purchase. Just use code LOCKED ON. And you can get that. Just download the Gametime app in any app market on your phone device, whatever app market you're using. We're going to get Roy Williams in the show in a little bit, but quickly, we're going to talk about the Super Bowl. And then, of course, what to expect this weekend. I got to ask Sam a question. So let's get Sam Extraman here, my producer. I got a Super Bowl party being planned. I know we're doing some film study stuff. I know the Vikings are planning on doing some stuff as well because the draft is coming. I'm excited about that. I can't wait to unveil that for you guys because we're going to do some draft breakdowns of potential draft picks of the Vikings. So we're not telling you who the Vikings are drafting because they don't even know. But we Gabe Henderson, he and I are going to break down some film. I think Pete Bursis is going to be involved as well. Keep that tight to the vest, though. But it's going to be a fun time of breaking down some film. But when I think about, Sam, my question for you is, I saw on Twitter, I don't know if you saw this, the Swifties are throwing Super Bowl parties now. So one of the videos, and I'm not going to lie, I'm actually going to head over to the store. I found a store that has it in Minnetonka. So I'm heading over there today at some point. Have you ever heard of glitter in your drink?
Edible glitter. So this is the Julia Daniels thing, right? You saw I saw you.
It was the tweet for, so I tweeted the video and I asked the question, and Julia Daniels from Care 11 NBC. Okay. She responded to me. Nadine Babu from Gopher Sports. She responded to me. Got some players joking around with me, not to, we're not putting glitter in whiskey, are we? And the answer is no, we are not putting glitter in whiskey, but glitter in the kids' drinks. I'm like, why not? Let's try it. I mean, the Swifties. So I'm going to try it. My kids, they love the cherry drink. I forgot what it's called. With the cherry and the Sprite and the grenadine.
Shirley Temple.
Shirley Temple. Yeah. So a Shirley Temple, but with some glitter. Like, we're going to get some silver glitter in there. But when I
Fun.
said it to my wife and my daughter too, I'm like, there's glitter that you can eat. And my daughter's like, yeah, Dad, what do you think are on cupcakes? I was like, oh yeah, the little spray. So yeah, I'm going to try that today. But say, I don't know. Have you ever tried the glitter in the drinks? Cause we're going to do that for our little Super Bowl party this weekend.
That's a good idea. Very Swifty of you to do that. I avoid glitter at all costs. I mean, my kids bring home art from school with glitter. It gets everywhere. I know this isn't the edible kind, but I just generally don't like glitter, so I don't think this is something I would be into. But hey, if let me know how it goes. Okay, I'd like you to test it out first before I dip my toe into the edible glitter pond.
Because I know we're taking our trip, once the Super Bowl ends, we always take our trip to Mexico. And so, because we're always in hopes that the Vikings, it's holding on hope that the Vikings might go to the Super Bowl. So I don't ever want to plan a trip until after the Super Bowl, just in case, because we were almost there. Eagles, Vikings, Super Bowl was here in Minnesota. So, then that was a time I remember my wife almost did it. And I'm like, let's just wait and see. And they lost the NFC Championship game to the Eagles. I'm not going to pull off old scabs, people. But we do go after it. So I'm thinking about even taking it down there, because down there it's the margaritas, it's the tequila shots. I'm like, let me get some glitter out, and I'm gonna travel with the glitter. But I just want to try it. I'm a girl dad. I got 2 girls. So I'm like, how can I make the Super Bowl party fun for them? Glitter in their Shirley Temples. And so I'm gonna put like glitter on the cherry, then drop it into the drink. I mean, I got it. I'm gonna like, roll it around in there. So you got glitter cherries. I gotta kind of like, I'm ready for this. I got it all
mixologist. I like it. Yeah.
I got I'm gonna roll the glitter in the cherries in the glitter. So you'll have like glitter maraschino cherries. You got to have the stem on it, so you're not just grabbing glitter. You grab the stem, put it in your drink, and now it's a glitter bomb into a drink. But let's talk about the Super Bowl a little bit, Sam. I saw some of the interviews come up. One that really shocked me. Kadarius Toney was asked if he's the number 1 receiver in this league, and he said, "Yeah, if I get the ball." I don't know why he said that, but the comments that I've seen on social media are absolutely hilarious. People are saying if you could catch the ball, somebody said guess his stats. That's what the ESPN tried to put up there. They know what they're doing, though. They knew it was going to come. It was an onslaught of 1 catch, 9 yards, 3 drops, 3 offsides, and an interception because you tipped the ball to the DB. I mean, there's all kinds of so that's one. But then it seems like the 49ers fans, and I get they're closer. And we know Roy Williams is from the Bay Area, so we'll talk to him about that, growing up a faithful. I don't know if he did or not, but they're closer to Vegas. So they overtook the interviews because they were booing all the Chiefs and cheering all the 49ers, and you could just hear it was so much louder. But also the 49ers, I don't know if you heard this one. Their field sucks. The Chiefs have a better – or is it vice versa? Is it the Chiefs have a bad – no, yeah, the 49ers I think have a bad field.
Practice field?
Yeah, the 49ers have a bad practice field. And so now the conspiracy theorists are out on that the NFL is trying to make sure Taylor Swift's boo has a good week of practice and the 49ers don't have a good week of practice, because what they did was they took turf or grass. They tried to give them natural grass, I think, or turf. I can't remember which one. And they just put it on top. And I don't think they realized you can't just put turf on top of grass or grass on top of turf. Whichever one they did, they said it's like a sponge, because it's supposed to be on flat, like hard ground with those little black pellets. And if it's dirt, then it's supposed to be a flat level of dirt, and then you put the grass down on top. But I'm not a botanist, but I have had my lawn done when we got our new sprinkler system. It takes like a good month or 2 for grass to like grab root for you to even feel like you can run on it, you let alone cut on it with cleats. And so the Las Vegas people just completely whiffed on this one. So now they're trying to figure out if they're going to split time at Allegiant Stadium or using the Vegas Raiders stuff. I mean, I've heard even like talk about taking a trip to Reno to just try to get, to figure out if we need to practice in Reno for the week, because they, you can go to Nevada, they have a field. And so there's a lot of crap that's going to happen. And right now, everybody's conspiracy. We want Taylor Swift to win the Super Bowl so Travis Kelce can propose. But Sam, what are your thoughts on what you've seen so far? It's only been 1 day, but so far already in this lightning of a one day or 2 days, I guess. They flew in on Saturday, Sunday, and it's already crazy.
Yeah, I'm ready for the game to be played already. The media day stuff is fun. You see, like, that 11-year-old kid interviewing people on Radio Row, and the questions are funny, and people seem to have smiles on their faces. But I'm ready for the game. I'm ready to see if the Chiefs can stop the Niners' running game and Christian McCaffrey, or if they shut it down like they did Baltimore's. And then I think the Chiefs are in a great spot. I want to see if the 49ers are once again a bridesmaid, never a bride. They get to the Super Bowl a lot the past 20 years, can't win it. So I think there's a lot of intrigue about this game, but a lot of hoopla leading up. I don't know if it's the Taylor effect or if it's just like 2-week build up to a Vegas Super Bowl. It's bound to be kind of noisy, but I'm ready for the football. I'm looking forward to Sunday.
Well, the good thing is there's no Taylor. Not the good thing. I don't care about Taylor Swift. She can be on there all she wants. There's not going to be a lot of Taylor Swift coverage because she's having her concert wherever. I forgot where it is, like China or Tokyo or something. So
yeah,
we're not going to get any Taylor Swift interviews before, unless she sends a video or something and it gets leaked because one of the players in the locker room are like, "Oh, Taylor Swift sent Travis Kelce a smooches video." But when you look at the odds, because I went to FanDuel, our partner in FanDuel, and went to the odds right now, plus 2.5 right now on the Chiefs. So. I mean, if you look at this, the way the bettors are going, we always know that it's the driven of the bettors. One of the early props, Brock Purdy and Patrick Mahomes combined for 50 plus rushing yards. So that's combined. So that means 25 yards each. That's plus 150. Chris Jones, Nick Bosa both record a half sack. That one's interesting. And then Christian McCaffrey scores 2 rushing touchdowns. And see, I think that's the scary one. The 2 rushing touchdowns, because he's probably going to score 2 touchdowns, but we've seen it be in the past in the screen game. We know he's a Swiss Army knife, him and Deebo Samuel, so they put him everywhere. So there are some early props that you can get down on early now. But the Brock Purdy, Patrick Mahomes, plus 150, I don't know, Sam. That seems like an easy one, but it also seems like a sucker bet because these are 2 good defensive lines. These are 2 good linebacking cores. So is there even going to be a lot of opportunity to run? These are 2, especially the 49ers. These are 2 teams that play a ton of 2-man, and there's always a spy backer or a spy DB. So I'm just wondering, like, if this is a sucker bet. But I know that's just throwing out how much they've rushed in the last couple playoff games and then put it together, and let's put a bet out there for people to bet on. But Sam, quick, I know we're going to talk about this Friday on the roundtable, but any quick predictions? We got Roy Williams about to join us, but any quick predictions on the Super Bowl? I just feel like, and I don't know why, I just want mutual destruction of the world. I feel like this is a Chiefs Super Bowl. Like, I feel like people want to see Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce win the Super Bowl. And maybe he retires with his brother. Like, that could be the other secret. He's going to retire with his brother and be a house husband and follow a billionaire around the world as she continues to. I mean, she's putting out a new album. What is it? Torture Poets or something like that? Like, come on now. Like, what she's going to write all. I don't know how much she's going to write about the NFL in there, but I know that's a tease. Like, there's going to be a song about either NFL fans or Chiefs fans or something that's going to get the NFL like all riled up and everybody excited. Like, oh my God, she wrote a song about hanging out with Travis Kelce and meeting her boo and blah, blah, and her torture. She's a torture poet because, the world just hates her because she's at a football game, swag surfing or canoeing, as I think it looked like. It didn't look like a swag surf. It looked like a canoe.
Rowing the boat.
Looked like she was rowing the boat. She didn't even look like she was rowing the boat. Like even the row the boat, like, because we've seen that with all the, like, Antoine Winfield and the Buccaneers did it. It wasn't even that. I don't know what it was. It was bobsledding or something. I don't know. I just saw the Olympics because I saw the Australian bobsled team. I don't know why I was randomly watching it, but so maybe that's what it was. They were hitting the turns on the bobsled, but yeah, I mean, she has I think I'm for mutual destruction of the world, and let's just give Taylor Swift a Super Bowl win. I don't know, Sam. What are your quick predictions before we get to Roy Williams?
Yeah, Chiefs feel unbeatable the way they're playing in these playoffs. I think San Francisco, though, is better up and down the roster. So I am leaning slightly San Francisco's way at this point, because it doesn't always go by the storybook. The storybook
Right.
is that the Chiefs win. Taylor Swift is happy. I think that the 49ers will steal it and be the Grinch and ruin Christmas for KC.
Well, coming up next, we got Roy Williams hanging with Ron Johnson segment. And before we do that, we have a word from our sponsors.
When you want to get to the best sporting events, the best theater, the best music, or even the big game, you got to use Gametime. Killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and the best price guarantee. Gametime takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. And right now, all users get $100 off when they buy a big game ticket with code VEGAS100. So why do you like the Gametime app? Why is it so great? Because you look at the app, you see your view from the seat, you see the all-in price, and they will give you 110% of the cost back if you find tickets in the same section and row for less. They've got tickets right up to the start of the event and even an hour after it starts. So right now, take the guesswork out of the big game. Get $100 off a big game ticket with code Vegas100. Terms apply. Download the Gametime app and use code Vegas100 for $100 off a big game ticket. Or if you're not going to that game, use code Locked On for $20 off your first purchase. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
So now it's time for the Hanging with Ron Johnson segment. I got my boy Roy Williams. I met Roy in 2001-ish, 2002. We both were heading to the NFL. And we were at the rookie symposium, like this Hey Rookie in the NFL. And I'm walking down the hall. My cousin, who was an agent with Tom Condon, knew Roy. Roy comes walking down the hallway, like brand new jewelry, all this stuff. He's like getting gifts and everything. He's got, people dropping off robes and fruit baskets to his door. And I'm like, oh, that's that dude from Oklahoma. So I went over and we kicked it since then. We went to the Super Bowl, All-Star games. We hung out a lot. So I always enjoy having Roy on. But just so you guys know, Roy is now a college football Hall of Famer. This is a guy with 597 tackles in the NFL. 474 of them were solo tackles. So he's by himself. He didn't need help. 77.5 sacks, 11 fumble recoveries, and 20 interceptions. I want to thank Roy Williams for joining me on the Ron Johnson Hall of Fame, or a ruckus round of applause from the crowd. When you got inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame, man, what did that feel like?
It's still like unreal. I mean, I got the football up on my wall right here that, when they send it to you to let you know that you're being inducted, but it's unreal, because I never played for accolades. I just wanted to run around and hit people. 1,000%. That's all I wanted to do and have fun. Right. And so when I got the call and they told me that I was going to be inducted, I mean, it was just like, you think back the times when I was playing street ball or playing Pop Warner or playing in high school, and then then playing in college, and just like, man, all that hard work, it paid off. I mean, because if you think about it, it's like, I think they say like over 5 million college athletes have played college football, but only like less than 2,000 of them have been inducted in the College Football Hall of Fame. And I'm a part of that. And it's just like mind blown. So, I mean, it is an honor for sure. Like, I don't take it lightly, but it's still like, nah, you guys picked the wrong person, at times. So, but no, I'm very, very thankful. Sure.
He was like, hey, you talking about the receiver? Like, I'm the DB. Talking about the coach from North Carolina? Like, this is the DB. No, man, like, I do love that. It's the funniest thing. Like, when I used to see basketball stuff happen, and then all of a sudden I see you tag. I'm like, why is Roy tagged? And I was like, oh, the coach. Then I see like a Detroit Lions something, and they're tagging Roy. I'm like, y'all getting this dude confused with the other Roy. And so I know you've gone through that, man. But you were a Jim Thorpe Award winner, Brock Nagurski trophy as well. Like, you've done so much in your career. But here's one, man, that like Tony Dungy always told me this, man. Like, being uncommon is about your legacy. It's not always about like quantity. It's about the quality of the things you do. And you now at the University of Oklahoma have a strength and conditioning speed complex. And so when that was named, for your athletic achievements and everything you've done for the university, like even that, man, seeing the construction of a speed and strength complex, man, at your school, like how cool is that? Like, just walking by and being like, or like, do people ever like see you and be like, oh, that's the same person?
Yeah, no, how that even happened was Jerry Schmidt, the strength and conditioning coach, now he's back at OU. He called me and was like, hey, Roy, do you mind making a donation and building a weight room for the guys? I was like, done. Like, because I know what the university had helped me with, right? So I was like, that's the least I can do. So I made a donation, and yes, I was able to get the Roy Williams speed and conditioning, and people hate me for that because that's where they get murdered by our strength coach. But the cool thing about it is I was able to do another gift, and then in the Barry Switzer Center where all the national award winners are, it says Roy Williams awards winner wall, national awards winners wall. So, I have my name on 2 prominent areas around the university. But the biggest thing for me was I want my legacy to live on when I'm gone from here.
Mm-hmm.
And I want people, and I want my kids to be able to go up there and be proud to say, my dad first did some amazing things at the University of Oklahoma, and he gave back. He just didn't take. He gave back, and so that's what I hold on to more than all the accolades and all these cool things, because those are cool. But I just want my legacy to live on, when I'm gone from here, And so I'm trying to do that, and mentoring some players and talking to some of the coaches and parents and stuff. But we'll see. It's cool. It's cool to be able. Honestly, it's cool to be able to go back to my university and still get love and respected, because a lot of people can't say that.
And one thing too, when you think about the Pro Bowl, and you were a part of the Pro Bowl. You look at 2003, you, Darren Woodson, you guys had a ridiculous defense. But going to the Pro Bowl used to be like, wow, I'm at the Pro Bowl, I'm in Honolulu, or I'm here it is. And now you watch it and you see like flag football and pushing the sled down the end through the end zone, and you see, dudes arm wrestling and doing dodgeball. Do you think that it's never coming back? Like, I just watched some Sean Taylor, Ed Reed, because I remember that one because I was there. That's when Ed Reed, actually, you both, it was the same year. You both were there because we all were there. Yeah, because I went down there with Ed Reed, and because I'm not going to tell some of those stories. I can't tell all those stories.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Lock that in the vault. Don't open it back up until we're one-on-one.
I forgot about that. Yeah, because you introduced me to Terrell Owens.
Yeah.
I can't tell that one. We had some late nights, Jack in the Box, parties, Warren Moon. But no, we had some fun times, man. And now they don't even go to Honolulu anymore. It's in Orlando. But do you think, because I remember Ed Reed's interception, Sean Taylor's hit, I think people were getting mad at you because they were like, Roy, don't go too hard. Like, do not hit us. And because y'all dudes didn't know, like you, Sean, and Ed, man, y'all didn't know. Like, Ed blocked a punt in the Pro Bowl. Like, y'all just did.
Still did.
Like, y'all didn't know how to
I was like, whoa. It's on. It's on. We trying to get that dub too and get that check.
So when you think about that, man, do you think it'll ever get back to that prominence of what it used to be, like trying to win that money, guys playing hard? I don't know how you get it back, but yeah, is it because LeVar Arrington said this? He said the luster of being a Pro Bowler is gone. Do you think that's true?
It most definitely is. We were able to grow up in an era where football was fun. And when I say fun, there's a possibility when you cross that white line, you may be coming back, gimped or hurt or whatever, but that was the thrill of playing in the NFL. And what the Pro Bowl is now is not what I recognize.
Right.
I didn't even watch it. I don't even watch Pro Bowl because it's just like, I'm not. If I want to watch 7-on-7, I go watch flag football on Sundays with my son.
Right.
But no, it will never get back to what it once was, because I get it. They're trying to protect players or whatnot, but protecting the players is bringing a detriment to what everybody grew to love about this game.
Right.
It's like, that part is gone,
Right.
So it's, I don't know. It's not the same. It's not enjoyable. And when they first left the Hawaii, I was like, that's the worst. I thought that was horrible, because that was like, for instance, when I was a rookie, right? When I went to the Cowboys, Joe Jurassic, the strength coach, was like, you cannot change the music in the weight room unless you have a list of things, right? And one of them was like, if you get a free paid all expense trip to Hawaii. Mm-hmm. And that next year, after I went to the Pro Bowl, I was able to touch the radio, like that meant something to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that was I accomplished that. I can touch the radio but it's like going to Hawaii and, hanging out with the folks in Hawaii and understanding the culture, and then going to the Army bases, and then going to the children's hospitals and spending time with those kids. I mean, that meant something.
Yeah.
Being able to have a free paid expense trip to Hawaii and being around the league's best of the best. And, everyone knows, come game time, I might have to hit you, but right now we cool.
Right.
But it's not that. It's not that anymore. And it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, no, I know, because they're trying to make the game safer. Guys were, I know the one couple videos pop up is like Ed Reed's tackle, your tackle, Sean Taylor's ridiculous hit.
Yeah,
I think Ray Lewis had across the middle one. Just tell a punter, like, yeah, it's a Pro Bowl, but you can't just run. Like, you about to get this first down. Like, you better slide.
He got lit up.
And so, but yeah, man, it is what it is. The NFL is trying to make it safer. We get it. But another reason why I hit you up, and you know this, I don't know if you saw this, but as of late, the video we did earlier in the year, and this is what tells me, this is how I know how the world works, man. Like, sometimes you put stuff out in the ether and people kind of consume it, does well, and then something happens and everybody's eating it up. And now all of a sudden everybody's eating up the video of your conversation about Mike Zimmer. And Mike Zimmer, possibly might be a defensive coordinator in the NFL. But when you look at today's NFL player, let's go with the Cowboys. You got Trayvon Diggs, you got Bland, you got these social media divas, you got CeeDee Lamb. You got, it's just a different era of player. Do you think Mike Zimmer's style, because you said he was tough love and he got the best out of you, but he was gonna get it out of you. Do you think Mike Zimmer can still survive in today's league? Do you think like Micah Parsons and like that's what those guys need to get over the hump?
Honestly, I think it's on where that defense or those players want to go.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to keep coming up short? Or do you want to get pushed to your limits of reaching that greatness that takes you over that hump? Like, what do you want? Like, what do you want in your life? What do you want to be known for playing in the NFL? Do you want to be known that, you had the talent, but you just couldn't get over the hump, or you superseded your abilities because you got pushed?
Right.
It just depends on the player. I mean, it's tough because – yes, I think Zim can coach in this league. I think he may have to pull himself back on his approach because it's strong. Like, I mean, he'll lay it on you because he sees the potential within you that you don't see for yourself. And it's sometimes it's tough because it's like a coach can't want something for you so bad that you don't want it for yourself. Like, you have to have that want inside of you. And that's what I mean by like he pulled so much out of me because he demanded it of me because he knew that I could do it. It's just that I had to believe it myself, or those players have to believe it. And you can see when those players, self-doubt themselves, or they, doubt themselves, you see it in their play. And you kind of witness that when guys start second-guessing themselves and, Minnesota started off on fire when Zip was there, and then it started dwindling away because, guys they lost it, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anybody. It's just that you got playing for a coach like Zim, that fire has to be lit nonstop within you to achieve the success that you want to achieve for that team. Fans, you got to have that same desire that coach has and those players have, because it's like everybody's one. You know what I mean? Like, we're all trying to pull towards the same goal, and it's just, you can tell watching film and seeing them their first couple of years into their latter years. Like, I'm not going to say they were getting disrespectful, but you can tell that they're like, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of getting pushed this way. I'm probably tired of getting talked this way. But are you tired of your play looking the way it looks? Like,
right.
Step up your game. But anyways, yeah. Long story
Yeah,
short.
no, I mean, because that's the thing when you think about the talent on the Cowboys team and the depth chart and just the names. Like when you go down the list, and you can stay away from the offense because Zim's not going to really touch that. We know that he never touched it as a head coach. But DeMarcus Lawrence, is one of them. Then you can go over to Micah Parsons. You can go over to Stephon Gilmore, Jaron Kearse, Deron Bland. You got Malik Hooker. And then, of course, you got Trayvon Diggs, who was on IR. But, I mean, they got guys. Like, when you name the guys, they have them. It's like, how do I get the most out of them? You think about Zimmer with Xavier Rhodes, put him in a Pro Bowl. Harrison Smith, turned him into the weapon he became. You look at Ant Harris even, became a starter with the Vikings, went on and played for the Eagles. Like, he's taking – I mean, Jaron Kearse started with Zim. And now look at him. Everybody wanted him to be this big nickel with the Vikings, and they never really could find it. But Zimmer kept trying and trying and trying. And then when he got his shot with the Cowboys, he earned it. And he went out there and played well. And now people are seeing what Zim saw in him. I think that's the thought process behind a lot of this is, Anthony Barr, Eric Kendricks, Everson Griffin, Danielle Hunter. You can name the guys that, he really put his teeth into, it just Chad Greenway, like he just put his teeth in some of these guys and say, hey, look, this is how good you can be. And I remember you telling me stories about that because when he was here and you and I talked, same thing. It was like, yeah, man, I love Zim. He was this, he was that. And so, yeah, it depends on the guy. And I think that's where the Cowboys are at right now. It depends on the guy. I think Zim does deserve a chance to coach in this league because there's a lot of coordinators out there who are terrible and they continue to get jobs. And there's a lot of coordinators out there that go, have their own issues with the NFL. And one of them, of course, is Brian Flores. He sued the NFL when he left the Dolphins, had to sit out because he was suing the NFL and suing the owners. And then he goes on to the Steelers because, the Rooneys are all for like, look, man, like this ain't got nothing to do with us. That's not our problem that we didn't cheat. And so then because of Mike Tomlin extending a hand, then the Vikings extend a hand and he did a great job. He turned the defense around. There was a lot of injury, a lot of issues with the defense, with the offense as well. Kirk Cousins tearing an Achilles. But when you look at Brian Flores' defensive scheme, the Dolphins, he got them good. Like he made them better because when he got there, they were terrible. Over the next 3 years, he made that defense good. That's why the scheme is still the same there. They just got rid of him because of what he was saying was going on with the tanking for Tua. And then when you think about that team, then you see him move over to the Vikings and what he's doing. If you were in that defensive system, 3-4 defense, safeties get to kind of create and not do their own thing, but they do their own thing within the scheme. How fun is that to play for a guy like Flores that's like, man, I'm gonna try something different. Let's just blitz 60% of the time and see what happens.
No, I would have loved that. Because I mean, I like to be closer to the line of scrimmage. I mean, I was comfortable there. It was something about hitting your shoulder pads against some of those offensive linemen or the tight ends or the running backs. It just wakes you up. It makes you alive, like you're in it. And honestly, I think what Coach Flores did for the Miami Dolphins, right, and then what he did last year with the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, it's like you have your three linemen, and then you have, hybrids from there on out. I mean, you got your corners, then everything else is like, well, actually, I think they moved a corner to safety and they moved the safety down to linebacker, and then you have so much skilled players on the football field, it creates mismatches, and then you're showing a 3-man front. But then you may blitz 6 or you may blitz 5, or it creates a lot of chaos. And that's the most beautiful thing about his defense is creating chaos. Like, okay, who's really going to come? Then it might leave a gap open. I mean, I was actually looking at some of the schemes, and I guess they're calling the linebackers that they're pluggers. They plug those holes or whatnot. So that was cool to see because I was like, man, look at I was looking at the chart of the defense, and it had the O's, the X's and O's, and I was just like, wow, it's like that's genius, especially in this day and age. I mean, with them putting so much speed on the football field with the tight ends and the slots or whatnot, and your running backs damn near receivers. I mean, hell, like Deebo Samuel, you were just talking about it. Deebo, I mean, he's a hybrid. He's a running back and he's a receiver and a slot. I mean, it's just like so to be able to match that, you have more defensive backs, speed, and they're aggressive. So it's. I mean, I can't say that because they are aggressive, but they're not aggressive because this league now is pacified and it's not as aggressive. You know what I mean? Like you cannot hit in this league, and that burns me. But I like the way that Coach Flores has constructed this defense because it's going to help for the better. And I think Minnesota dropped 2 slots. Like I think they were like maybe 19, and I think they went down to 16 or 17 or something like that. So in total defense, and you can see it. You can see it coming. Like that, he's going to get it. He's going to get it turned around, and you'll be crazy to be a defensive guy not wanting to play in the system because you can create so much havoc, and they created so much havoc. I mean, from the fumble recoveries and some of the forced fumbles and the interceptions that they're able to force this year.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. Like the offense had so many turnover issues. If the offense could have held on to the ball, and it wasn't even interceptions. Like Kirk Cousins was doing well. Like he was headed for a prolific, historic career like season towards Achilles.
Yeah.
But it was the offense. The tight ends fumbled the ball to start games. The running backs were fumbling the ball like 3 times in a row. Like it was the craziest. I had never seen so. I mean, the only way I could have put it was somebody in Vegas got to these guys' families because some of the fumbles just did not make sense. Like it was just like we started every single game with a turnover. It was nuts for like the first 8 games. And we were all, I mean, they almost hit historic numbers of turnovers in NFL history. Like the number of turnovers by an offense, like it was nuts. And so when you think about that and Brian Flores' defense, one guy I want to talk about because you mentioned this was Josh Metellus was the safety that kind of played linebacker, played nickel, played corner, he played outside backer. They called it a DN, but it was technically outside backer. And the reason for it is because he started 3 safeties. He looked at his defense, what he needed. He didn't have a true, like the linebacker I think he wanted, wasn't healthy to start the season. And so he ended up making Josh Metellus that guy, which actually worked long-term where he said, I'm going to go with 3 safeties. Because, and you know this, Roy, when you're picking at 53, everybody's fighting in their meeting room for who they want and how many guys they want, which is one of the reasons I think the defensive line coach had to go because he was not happy with the number. He ended up only having like 4 defensive linemen. And Flores got to keep 6 safeties. I've never seen a roster with 6 safeties, 4 at the most, maybe 5 of a special teams guy, but 6 is like, wait, what? You have 6 safety? You have more safeties than cornerbacks. Like, what are we doing? And so then we figured out why, though, because he was in this 3 safety system. He unveiled it when the season started. We were all confused as heck. Like, okay, I have no idea what he just did with this 53, but let's see what happens. But Josh Metellus was the guy, played at Michigan, 6th-round draft pick, was up for the Pro Bowl, just not famous enough yet. People didn't understand what they're voting for. I mean, the dude had more interceptions, more tackles, same as Anton Winfield. Like all those guys should have been in front of Budda Baker, but that's a different story. And so when you think about that, though, when you look at a guy like Josh Metellus, if that were you, if Brian Flores came and said, hey, man, Roy, I need you to be everywhere on this field. You're going to be in cover 2. You're going to be in quarters. Then you're going to blitz. And I need you to play backer and rob the hook flat. Like, how excited would you have been every week as Josh Metellus and going to the meetings knowing you don't know where you're going to be, but you're going to be somewhere on that field?
Yes, I would embellish and love to take on that role because it's like, for me, I always wanted to be challenged when I stepped on the football field. And I always looked at opposing offenses as a puzzle, and I need to try to figure it out, especially in college. And, my first couple of, like, if you think about it, my first couple of years, I was in that position with Mike Zimmer, because Coach Zimmer just let me go. Like, he was called the defense and was like, go wreak havoc, and that's what they're doing with Josh, and to be able to have that coach's confidence and he's pushing me forward, like go make some noise. Because I was looking at his stats. I think he had 112 tackles. He had 1 interception,
he was all over the place.
4 fumbles, and then I think 2.5 sacks. I mean, he put some work in. and that's fun. You know what I mean? And to be able to be in that position for a coach to have your back and you be able to execute what he's wanting to do. I mean, the sky's the limit because the more comfortable you get within that, the more you can play around in disguise and throw people off. And it'll be exciting to see what he does this season.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Josh Metellus does as well. I know the Minnesota Vikings have a lot of decisions to make. Their coaching staff is set. All the head coaching positions are filled. So Brian Flores is staying in Minnesota. Thank goodness. But now it's time, and Roy, you know this is time now for the coaches to go look at the college game, the Senior Bowl, the draft is coming up, and all that stuff. I know you remember those days. So as the draft gets closer to, we'll get back with you and relive some of those draft stories in those weeks. But I want to thank Roy Williams for joining me on the Hang and Ron Johnson segment. Coming up next, we got the Daily 3. That's 3 questions. We're going to take about a minute each today, and we'll do that after a word from our sponsors.
And today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. Super Bowl's coming up, and FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is the best way to get involved. Have a little fun with your food, your family. You got the good seat on the couch, the big TV. FanDuel can be a part of the experience if you've got a little skin in the game. And you can get some of that by placing a $5 wager. If it wins, you get $200 in bonus bets. Once again, new customers, you join today, get $200 in bonus bets with your first bet of $5 or more winning. Sign up at FanDuel.com/lockedon, FanDuel.com/lockedon. And with those $200 in your pocket, the world is your oyster with hundreds of ways to wager on the Super Bowl. Literally, almost everything is on the table. Make every moment more with FanDuel. They're an official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
Well, now it's time for the Daily 3. That's 3 questions. We're going to take about a minute each today. Take it away, Sam.
Check out the NBA standings, Ron, and it is crazy in the West right now. 4 teams separated by half a game. Wolves and Thunder tied at the top. Nuggets and Clippers half a game back. Who is the biggest threat to the Wolves in the West?
I mean, after the Thunder game, just watching them, nothing against it, but I think if you disrupt Chet's game, like you beat him up a little bit, and I think that's what playoff basketball becomes. I just saw a video of Alonzo Mourning. I don't know if you've seen this, when he elbowed Scottie Pippen in the head on a foul, and Scottie Pippen had like a knot on his head, and it was just a common foul. Like he just went to the line, shot his free throws, and it literally started swelling as he shot free throws. And in the comments, people were saying like, I missed the 90s, but that was definitely a flagrant. Like, and you can't just elbow somebody in the head because you missed the ball. And that's what Alonzo did. And Scottie didn't react. He didn't try to fight him like today's athlete. That would have been a fight. That would have been a 5-minute, like separate everybody to the court, And so when you look at that, Chet Holmgren, he wouldn't have survived, I don't think, getting beat up like that every night. So I'm more worried about the Nuggets. Jokic can handle getting beat up. They're former champions, so they know what it's going to take to win. They're right there in striking distance like a Cobra. I think those 4 teams, the good thing is all 4 of them are probably going to hold on to home court advantage for a playoff series. And then from there, it's who do you want to play? I don't want to play the Nuggets into the Western Conference Finals. I would rather play the Clippers because I just think the Clippers, not say are dysfunctional, I just don't know if they really have it. And then I think the Nuggets are former champions. So I'm going to go Nuggets, Clippers, and then Thunder.
I think Clippers right now scare me the most. Best team in the NBA since December 1st. They are clicking on all cylinders. Ron, Super Bowl Sunday. We just told you about FanDuel. Maybe some folks are getting their $200 free at FanDuel. But Ron, do you have a favorite Super Bowl bet on FanDuel?
The funniest, it's not on FanDuel, but this one, the Gatorade thing. I don't know if you've seen that. This kid DM'd every Chiefs player and asked them if they have any idea what the Gatorade, like, have they seen, I think he kind of said, like, you guys seen the Gatorade laying around? Because he joked, he's like, if you guys tell me the color of the Gatorade and I get it right, we don't have to take our math final. My guess is he's actually trying to make a bet, but he made it about math. Because then his message is like math, like I hate math. Like, hey, what's the Gatorade color? So I do like that prop bet. The one
hold on, Ron. It is on FanDuel.
It is? Okay.
Gatorade is on FanDuel. Yeah, FanDuel's got everything. We
got I didn't know they had the Gatorade.
Yellow, lime, or green at +380, purple at +380, Orange at plus 240, blue at plus 430, and red or pink at plus 490.
I'm going purple or red because I think the Super Bowl logo might have given away maybe Gatorades. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Conspiracy, I think is what it is, with Will Smith and Margot Robbie. And that's what they were doing. They were suggestively showing people stuff so that they would do what they want them to do in a sporting event or a bet. And I'm like, imagine the NFL just showing Gatorade in the world, purple and red, purple and red, purple and red, purple and red. So then when the Gatorade employee goes to grab the Gatorade for the winning, because I don't know if each sideline has the same color. That's the other thing too. Like the Chiefs might have red, the 49ers might have purple, and then it depends on who wins. So it could be purple or red, but I'm going to go with purple or red. That's the one I would bet on. The other one, though, I like, it's the rushing, these quarterbacks, because we know in the past we've seen Patrick Mahomes get pushed out of bounds, and then a play continues, and they get to win a Super Bowl because of that, and the Bengals guys are pissed off. We've seen quarterback scrambling. What was it? Eli Manning making stuff happen in the pocket to make the throw to David Tyree. We've seen, like I just think that can affect the game as well as the quarterback's legs. And so I do like that 50 yards plus between both quarterbacks. So 25 yards a quarterback, or maybe Brock Purdy just goes off because we've seen he can run. So that's another one that I like.
Last one. If Patrick Mahomes gets his third Super Bowl this Sunday, he'll be 28 years old. Do you think he has a chance to catch Brady's 7 Super Bowls?
He'll be 28.
He'll be 28. He is 28 right now, so he'll have 3 by age 28, and Brady played till 42 or whatever.
So if Mahomes can make it to 38, that's 10 more seasons. 10 more seasons, he'd have to win 4 more Super Bowls. Yeah, I think he can. 4 Super Bowls in 10 years. If this team, the problem is going to be, though, Kelsey's going to be out the league. Can he go find him a tight end? Because I don't know if Kelsey's going to play the 40. That's going to be the problem. Like, Kelsey's body is beat up. Quarterbacks don't get beat up like other positions do. He won't have, he'll have Pacheco for a while because he's young. The offensive line is older. He'll have Creed Humphrey though. But some of those other guys are older. So I don't know. But I think, 4 in 10 years. Andy Reid might retire though. Who knows? Maybe Eric Bieniemy comes back and becomes a head coach of the Chiefs.
There you go.
I think he can get 4 in 10 years. I think he can go to 4 for sure in 10 years.
Yeah.
Can he win all 4? And that's going to be the question.
Yeah. I mean, he's on a Brady-like pace in terms of appearing in the game. He's
correct.
Been in
6 years.
Is this 5 out of 6?
Mm-hmm.
He's been in the game, or 4 out of 6. Either way, he's getting there about the frequency Brady did. So
maybe 4 out of 6, but he's been the AFC Championship all his career. His entire career, he's been to the AFC Championship game. So
yeah, so keep doing that. I mean, you're bound to win enough. So I think it all depends about Andy Reid. I think he's the secret sauce. If he hangs around a while, which it sounds like he wants to, then they endless possibilities.
And if I'm Eric Bieniemy, I'm reaching back out to the Chiefs like, hey, this thing didn't work out with the Commanders. Can I come on as offensive analyst and maybe assistant head coach and let me take the reins over Andy when you're done, because I went to my own. And Ron Rivera, we couldn't survive. But I'm Ron Johnson. That's Sam Extra. That was Roy Williams joining us on the Hanging with Ron Johnson segment. I want to thank you guys for joining us this week. Make sure you guys check out all of our other shows on Locked On Sports YouTube channel, 24/7. Wild, Vikings, Wolves, everything, Gophers, whatever you name it. Minnesota Myth. We're going to talk about arena football at some point. We got to get Ricky Foggy back on the show as well. Talk a little arena football. But again, I'm Ron Johnson. That's Sam Ekstrom. I want to thank you guys. Have a great week.